Remember, they had to clear the area first, ladies and gentlemen, so the preliminary number was 20. And then once they cleared it for explosives, remember the quotes we were hearing from Congressman Grayson, quote, "There is blood everywhere," and the lives lost, the humanity lost. It's just stunning. This is the worst shooting since Virginia Tech in 2007. And as Nadine indicated, we are looking at a number of 50, which could even escalate further as the hours go by. Is it a hate crime? Is this a terrorism incident? The FBI says, hold off. We don't know yet. They're just dealing with this as a crime, so we can't put a label on it yet. But clearly this was premeditated with deadly intent.
Yeah.
We have an intern outside of his home in Port St. Lucie.
And then I think we have Eric Sandoval right on. We have Eric Sandoval right outside of ORNC. Up to 53 people hospitalized now, Eric, right?
Yes, and it's a staggering number, Nadine and Mike. It actually really hits you right here, and I've been talking with some of my colleagues in the news profession out here. We know people who were actually going to that club last night, and so for a lot of us, it's really hit home. Nancy Wilson, who is with the Metropolitan Community Church, is joining us right now. Metropolitan Community Church, of course, a huge driving force in the LGBT community. What is your message to the gay community this morning?
Well, of course, we're heartbroken, first of all, and in shock and terrible shock. But we're a incredibly strong community, and we love each other deeply, and we've been through terrible crises before. But we know that whether you label this a hate crime or not, it's about hate, and it's about a terrible ideology or mental illness or something. But we live in a terribly violent culture, and it seems sometimes like no place is safe. But we want to say to people that it's so important to reach out to those you love and to those around you. We send our love and comfort and prayers to families who have lost loved ones. Members of our church here at Joy MCC in Orlando have lost friends and members and people they know well. And we're got to be here for each other, and we've got to be strong as a community and lay aside our barriers and differences to come together.
I don't know if you were privy to the news conference that just wrapped up.
Yes.
When you heard that 53 people were now confirmed dead, what went through your mind?
Well, you know, of course, it's the largest massacre in U.S. history, probably not since the 70s when there was a massacre in New Orleans of LGBT people. Has anything like this happened? And it just hit me in just like a kick in the stomach and the gut. And to just know all these young people, that's what I think of more than anything, is so many young people. I think it was Latino night at the Pulse, and just young people there for a good time, to have community, to be there. And I was so touched by the images of people, young kids, and reaching out to each other and carrying each other to cars and ambulances. And there's a heroic element in our community always, and that we're there for each other. And I'm proud of that, and also just incredibly devastated to hear this and to say it's going to take a long time to heal and to understand.
So I correct myself, 50 confirmed dead, 53
yes, right.
injured. How does the community move forward from this, do you think?
Well, I think, first of all, what's important is to see ourselves as one community with the larger community, that the LGBT community is not alone in facing this. And just like in Charleston, when the church faced such terrible massacre, that people from all walks of life, from all races and backgrounds, came together to support Charleston. We need the support of our citizens and friends and community to understand the special pain and significance of this, but also to say we have to do something about the way in which this violence is being perpetuated, and that people have access to assault weapons that can do this in a bar, in a club where people are having a good time, and that no amount of other security, if these weapons are available like this, that there's nothing people can do.
And it's definitely going to open up a larger discussion, I'm sure.
Well, we hope.
Nancy Wilson with the Metropolitan Community Church, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you so much.
This Latino celebration that they had on the weekend, is this something that everyone knew about? It's something that happened every weekend?
I can confirm that it happened every weekend, Mike. What I can tell you, a lot of the gay clubs around town, they have special nights, special draws, and I'm sure it was advertised either online on their Facebook page, maybe in one of the publications like Watermark that's circulated here throughout Central Florida. So it was a big draw. It's a program, it's a night designed to attract a large crowd, and evidently it did last night.
It did. Eric, thank you so much. Eric Sandoval, excellent work as always. I'd like to bring in my colleague Mike DeForest, who was just attending. No, we don't have Michael yet? Okay, Eric, let me just keep it with you. No? All right. Okay, I see Mike DeForest there, and Michael, as I come to you, we're preparing a live shot of the home in Port St. Lucie. This is a modest home. There you see the contingent of police officers. From what I can tell there, these look like local uniformed police officers waiting. There's no tension, they're simply waiting. And typically, the protocol for this, Nadine, is they need a search warrant. And then when they get inside, then the work begins. The laptops, the computers, the questions, the physical evidence that we need, perhaps communicate with other people. Let's bring in Mike DeForest now. Michael, you're at the news conference. Forgive me for interrupting, but we wanted to show the scene in Port St. Lucie. 50,
well,
at least 50.
To show that because I think it's important to show that scene down in Port St. Lucie because while this is still a very active scene out here in terms of law enforcement response, the shift of this investigation is now moving towards the alleged gunman in this case. When the FBI stepped up to the podium here, they were not yet ready to publicly identify that gunman, but CBS News is reporting that it's a 30-year-old Omar Mateen, a U.S. citizen from Port St. Lucie who has family from Afghanistan. That's according to CBS News. That certainly explains why we have that police presence down outside of his neighborhood there in Port St. Lucie. Assuming that is the gunman, the next question becomes why. It is a question many of you have and many people in this community have, and of course many here who are at this press briefing wanted to know. And law enforcement say that they are just going to be taking their time and releasing these details. They want to make sure they get it right. But early on today, there was an indication by FBI. FBI said that they did have some indications that the gunman may have had some, quote, leanings into radical Islam. When the FBI was pressed a little bit more at this briefing about why they came to that conclusion, they said, we're not ready to discuss that yet. I almost kind of read between the lines of what the FBI agent was saying, suggesting, just wait, we're about to give you the answers. We just don't have it at this moment, but it is certainly a question many people have right now in these early hours of this investigation. One of the important things that the police chief, the mayor, law enforcement all wanted to emphasize right now is taking care of the victims and their families. One of those is the family hotline. If you have someone, a loved one who is attending the nightclub or someone who is missing, they're urging you to call the family hotline. Let me give you that phone number right now, 407-246-4357. 407-246-4357. That's the local area's response for any kind of family. Speaking of people at that nightclub, the FBI is urging that if you were at the Pulse nightclub last night, say you were only there for a half hour and you left long before this happened, they want to hear from you. They want to get every little shred of information they can about what happened last evening. And you may not realize you can help, but if you were at that nightclub even long before this shooting, they want to hear from you. Certainly, if you were at this shooting, at this nightclub during the shooting, they want to hear from you. Right now, it's just standing by, waiting now for the information from law enforcement. They seem to indicate that they will have a little bit more for us in about 2 hours. But you can imagine people just very, very curious now why this happened, why this nightclub, why these people, why last night.
Mike, I have one quick question. You know, when we heard the news conference, I was taking notes. I heard the number 50 casualties. What was it like there? I mean, what was it like for you guys being there and hearing that?
I'm glad you asked that, Nadine. There was an audible gasp. There was a gasp among the media crew, and of course, when we've been in this business, we hear and see it all, and there was a gasp when they said 50 because the original number was about 20. It's important to note the mayor said that there were 50 casualties. Technically, casualties is both deaths and injuries, but then they later clarified that is 50 deaths, another 53 or so, I believe, in the hospital. The reason the police chief said this number just greatly jumped from our earlier press briefing a couple hours ago was they actually couldn't get into the nightclub. There was still a concern after police said that this gunman had on him some sort of suspicious device. They're not going so far as to say it was a bomb, but it was enough concern of a device that they didn't didn't want to just go rushing in there, and so it took law enforcement several hours after this shooting to get in there, and that's when they discovered those bodies. In fact, they indicated that the number grew because of the number of bodies they found inside the Pulse nightclub. That wasn't necessarily people who were injured, taken to the hospital, and later succumbed to their injuries. That's what they said they found in the nightclub. As the police chief kind of outlined earlier, how this all went down was about 2 o'clock in the morning. There was a police officer there at the nightclub, presumably working an off-duty shift at Pulse nightclub. Shots fired, and that police officer exchanges gunfire with the gunman. The gunman then goes back into the nightclub, and for the next 3 hours, there was, in essence, a standoff, a hostage situation. I asked the police chief, and he confirmed that during that 3-hour period, law enforcement was in communication with the gunman. The police chief was certainly not ready at this early stage to disclose to us what those conversations were about, but I find that very interesting that they had at least some kind of dialogue with the gunman. That may eventually answer the question that some people had about how was law enforcement able to so quickly suggest that this individual may have radical Islam leanings. We don't know the contents of that conversation, but nonetheless, law enforcement acknowledged that they had some kind of communication. Don't know if it was brief, don't know if it was lengthy. Another thing law enforcement just does not know yet, they say, whether all 50 of those deaths occurred during the initial round of shooting before police were able to exchange gunfire, or was it possible that the gunman shoots and kills some people, comes out, gets into that gun battle with police, goes back inside the nightclub and kills more people inside the club? That we do not know yet. That is some part of their investigation, something I don't believe even law enforcement knows the actual answer to yet. Nadine.
It's Mike Hofeld again. The parents are from Afghanistan, according to CBS. Remember what the FBI said during the news conference you were attending. We need to notify next of kin before they can button up the facts and make it official to the press who this gentleman is, this Omar Mateen, in his 20s, from Port St. Lucie. In fact, we have a crew at Port St. Lucie. We have Sky 6 over the van that Mateen was driving. Do you think that's what the delay is? Is there an international call that may be made, or is there a sense that there may be relatives in the Florida area or in the United States?
I will take them at their word that they want to notify next of kin first, but as you can imagine, law enforcement are able to successfully do some aspects of their investigation in the dark without the public knowing, and if that means right now minimizing how many people know this alleged gunman's name, then they want to work that first. But we can presume the next aspect of this is they will most likely want to get his name out there, get his face out there, and say, hey, if you know this guy, if you've had conversations with this guy, if you associate with this guy, we want to hear from you. So that may be part of the reason, too. I'll take them at their word that they still want to notify other family members related to that gunman. But again, these are details that will come out, maybe not right this moment, and they're just urging patience among everybody. And right now, again, law enforcement says that their biggest focus right now is just tending to the victims, sadly removing the bodies from that nightclub, but also communicating with their families, loved ones, friends, to know where everybody is right now.
First, well done. Thank you so much, and we'll get back to you soon. Live to David Sky 6, 50 dead, 53 hurt. David, the activity has stepped up again. I noticed during the news conference that the hood was up of the van now, and now the technicians are back doing their job.
That's right. It looks like the robot that was actually clearing the van, I guess they figured that what they've gone through with the robot has been good enough to tell them that whatever's in the van is not dangerous. So now that they've sent human beings, you know, the police force now to check the van itself. The gentleman you just saw walk away from the robot, he's actually been going in and out of the van, removing other things, moving things outside of the van. He's the one that actually opened up the hood of the vehicle just to make sure that there was nothing planted in the hood. He was satisfied with that, walked away. Now they're just having a conference next to the vehicle. That backpack that they did remove from the back of the van is still next to the robot that you see at the top of your picture. It is still on the ground. We're still waiting to see what their plan is with that backpack. They did remove a couple of other things. You could see it on the ground to the left of the officer that's standing there. One of the things they put on the ground, he opened up by hand. He walked away from it, seemed to be satisfied with that. So it looks like the one main thing that they're focusing on right now is that backpack that's still on the ground on the other side of that robot.
So we may be looking at detonation still. Remember, they indicated to you earlier, keep a good safe distance because we may be detonating something.
That is correct. That's why we're still away from the scene. That is why we're staying away and keeping our eye on it. I'm trying to follow all of them. There are actually 3 robots on scene. There are 2 here at the van. One just moved away. It's probably now back at the command post. And on the other side of the command post, there is another robot. You can almost see the top of it peeking out from the back of the command post. So 3 robots are on scene. One remains at the vehicle itself. One has now been taken away from it. But we're still thinking that the thing that we were told that they plan on detonating would be that backpack, because once it was removed from the van by the robot, it has been sitting there ever since. It has not been touched, it has not been looked at, and they've pretty much been avoiding it. Now one officer is walking right by it. He just walked around it. As you can see, he's not even paying attention to it. So in my guesstimation, that would be what they plan on detonating, if they do still continue to believe that they want to detonate that package. Mike?
I agree. David Spring, well done. 11:03 in the morning. Why don't we switch scenes and take a look at the hospital?
Yeah,
Nadine, I'll let you pick this up.
Yeah, we have received a lot of information, a lot of new information, as you're looking at a live picture of ORMC right now. This was from a news conference that wrapped up about 45 minutes ago now. Let me just get you up to date with the latest that we have. 50 people dead, 53 people hospitalized at various hospitals in the area. You're getting a live look at ORMC. The trauma surgeon spoke at that news conference. He said that they brought in 6 more surgeons. They're in a critical need for blood, obviously. Just staggering numbers. The FBI says at this point they cannot determine whether or not this was a hate crime or an act of terrorism. We know that the shooter's name from CBS and from Alan Grayson is Omar Mateen. He's in Port St. Lucie is where he's from, and you've been following kind of more about the shooter. Can you tell me about that, Mike?
Very quickly, he's in his late 20s, born in 1986. We're told his parents, according to CBS News, from Afghanistan. We have a camera crew in Port St. Lucie, and we've watched a contingent of officers outside the front of the perimeter there with their arms folded, very relaxed, and frankly, they're waiting for that warrant. We spoke to Mayor Dyer earlier, where he approached the media and gave us a briefing. Very impassioned, very compelling. I'd like you to hear that now.
Today we're dealing with something that we never imagined and is unimaginable. Since the last update, we have gotten better access to the building. We have cleared the building, and it is with great sadness that I share we have not 20 but 50 casualties. In addition to the shooter, there are another 53 that are hospitalized. Because of the scale of the crime, I've asked the governor to declare a state of emergency. We're also issuing a state of emergency for the city of Orlando so that we can bring additional resources to bear to deal with the aftermath. Our focus is going to be on identifying the victims and notifying the families. We're setting up a hotline for concerned family members. There's 407-246-4357. The identification process may take some time, so we ask for your patience because we want to be accurate. Concerned family members can call the hotline, however, and let them know that you have someone that you are concerned about. I continue to be so proud of our community, the support that is shown, the response that has been made. I'm also thankful to entities from all around the country and all over the state of Florida. The governor has made all the resources of the state of Florida available. Orange County has made all of their resources available. We have assistance from the White House, so every possible asset we have brought to bear.
And that was Mayor Buddy Dyer about 45 minutes ago at a news conference. Now, after he spoke, Police Chief John Mina spoke, saying this is the worst mass shooting in American history. We looked at the notes. It looks like the last time a mass shooting of this kind was Virginia Tech in 2007. So broke that record there today, unfortunately. And so what we know now, 50 people dead, up to 53 hospitalized. We have live pictures now, Sky 6 on the scene still, where it looks like law enforcement's still looking at the suspect's car.
Well, it's very meticulous, and this is standard protocol, Nadine, and I'm just watching to see what he's doing with the robot. David Sprung had indicated that backpack that you see behind him. It's almost incidental. He's not even paying attention. He's looking more at the robot, and I assume he's trying to get additional intel. David, let me bring you in here. When we broke away for a moment to listen to Buddy Dyer, what was going on here? I see he's looking at it very closely.
Well, Mike, a little bit of an odd situation was going on. We know that the building was cleared. It was cleared a couple of hours ago, and most of the SWAT teams that were around the area actually left. But as I was scanning the area, 3 more SWAT teams, actually 3 more SWAT units, came up to the doors, rifles drawn, and they started opening that black door that you see right there. If you see that white tarp that's against the building, there's another door directly to the right of that, and then one to the left of that. So they were actually, again, opening up doors and checking to see if the area on this side was actually clear. So I don't know if they had missed that through the initial search of the building, but they actually came back. 3 guys came back and actually searched those 3 doors that are on this area, and then they walked away again. Then when I scanned back here again, you had a couple of detectives or officers actually now retrofitting the robot again for whatever purpose they're going to use it for, whether it's for detonation, whether it's for X-ray, or whether it's for just surveillance. Whatever their plan is, they're now retrofitting the robot once again. So they're going back and forth, and it looks like they're just being as thorough as they possibly can, making sure that all of their T's are crossed, all of their I's are dotted, so they make sure that this is handled properly. But as you can see now, they're just now retrofitting the robot once again. Mike?
When you say 3 SWAT units, we're talking about 3 men, rifles drawn, going to that side door you just described to us?
That is correct. 3 men, rifles drawn, entering in these 3 doors that are on this side of the building. Now let me zoom out so you can see the building, so you can see where I'm talking about. It's on the right side of the building. So if you were to enter, the entrance of the building is on the left side. It's over here. They were actually on the right side of the building, which is the side of the building which it looks like that maybe some party goers would stay at, but not frequented too much. But there are 3 doors on that side. Whether they missed it through the initial investigation, whether they just wanted to double check, we don't know. But I can tell you that 3 SWAT officers just came back with their rifles drawn and made entry into those doors and then left again. So they have now cleared the area, but they did do one more check, one more sweep on this side of the building.
That tells me that they probably saw some intel in the van that suggested there may have been somebody else with him, and that's why they went to that door. So whatever evidence they presented there, we may find another player or players involved in this. That's not fact, but that's how the evidence presents itself with that sort of a reaction. So still nothing detonated. Nadine, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to give you guys an update. Orlando Health actually just tweeted out that ORMC is still on lockdown. Their grounds are still on lockdown out of consideration for patients, staff, and family safety. One thing that I wanted to just remind everyone, we've been putting out a lot of information, you know, FBI hotlines if you may know the shooter. We've given you numbers if you may have had a loved one who is inside the nightclub and you're still trying to find them. You know, they have an urgent need for blood. All of this information we are working to get for you on clickorlando.com, all of the phone numbers, all of the addresses. We also know that there is a prayer vigil set tonight as well. So
At 6 o'clock tonight.
yeah, my understanding is that there's a vigil tonight at Joy MCC Church at 6 o'clock tonight. And
Mayor
now
Dyer
we have Mayor
live?
Dyer
Okay.
live right now. Let's take a listen to what he has to say.
No, he's live. Mr. Mayor, thanks for joining us. My God, first let me salute you and your team for what you've done, because you've handled this brilliantly. What was your reaction? Can you hear me, sir? Doesn't hear me yet. Let's work on that earpiece, as we call it, and we'll get back. Okay, back live to the scene where the van is. And it was interesting that the 3 SWAT members went into that side door. Very, very curious.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to go back out to Eric Sandoval, who's outside of ORMC. Eric, we were just saying that the hospital is still on lockdown, but you are obviously talking to a lot of people out there.
Talking to a lot of people, and actually a lot of friends have been texting me and tweeting me asking if they can go down to the nightclub right now and place flowers and start a memorial for all of the people. And honestly, no. Orange Avenue is still blocked off. Orlando Regional Medical Center is still on lockdown. And actually, I have somebody here who's actually created a sign and came here to ORMC. What is your name?
Carlos Perez.
Carlos, why did you, obviously we know what prompted you to do this, but what in your heart inspired you to make a sign and come
Be there for everybody that lost someone. I'm trying to stay hopeful, and it's such a simple gesture, but I'm just trying to make an impact and just trying to show people that they're not alone and we're here and we care about them, and we're just trying to be a community for everybody.
In talking to your friends, what are they saying?
Everyone's just confused. This has never happened in town. So everyone's confused and just trying to find some answers.
That's great. And your son says, you know, pray for Orlando, and actually that's a hashtag that's actually trending on Twitter and on Facebook right now. So, Carlos, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
really,
you. What is your name?
Eric Sandoval.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you guys for being here.
Oh, thank you. He is just one person. There's as NBC News passes us here, right on the other side of their satellite truck, there is another young lady who's holding a sign. Hers is a little bit more detailed. I just talked to her. She did not want to go on camera, but she did tell us her sign is more of a prayer. It's an involved prayer, and it's asking for her higher powers guidance for the city of Orlando. This is sparking a lot of emotion with people here and actually within the news media. A lot of us actually had friends who were inside Pulse nightclub last night, and we're still waiting to hear how they are. So I'm going to send it back to you in the studio. Nadine, Mike?
Yeah, Eric, I want to ask you one thing. You actually did tear up at one point, and you said you have people that you know went there last night. As a reporter, how do you even cover this, standing outside of the hospital watching people being brought in?
It's very difficult, Nadine. I have to be honest with you, but you know what? This is where our community, the city of Orlando, comes together. I've had friends, I've had people I don't even know tweeting me all day today saying, you know, we saw you tear up during your live shot, and yes, we're so glad you're human, but at the same time, we all need to come together. We all need to be one as the city of Orlando, and I think that's what kept all of us going this morning and reporting this terrible tragedy.
Absolutely, Eric. Thank you so much. And we know that so many people have already wanted to help. They've been flooding our newsroom, putting in calls, trying to figure out how they can donate blood. We have a lot of information to give out to people. So go ahead again, go to our website, clickorlando.com. There are phone numbers and websites that you can go to as we are dealing with, again, Chief Mena's words here, the worst mass shooting in American history right here at home.